in the event that this could potentially lead to something down the road, but their season isn't officially over, even though Mike Greenberg wants it to be so, their season isn't technically over. We're going to have 4 games without Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
I think within that time period or at the end of it, we're going to know a lot about where this Vikings team stands. And at that point, they might bring your wildest dreams to form.
Someone else say something.
I've lost. Thing for you is they play the Bears this week, so that's the hard part for you. But Justin Fields is playing better. That's what I'm saying. So if he's playing better and they beat him, look,
it's incredibly unlikely. I don't remember the last time we've seen a starting quarterback get traded in season. If it happens, then it's going to be really tough in that Vikings locker room. But I know we don't care about that.
We don't care. Green don't care
about
the Jets.
But can I also just bring fact into it?
Why? I'm not interested in fact. I'm interested in hope.
The man who in 2018 used your team as leverage to get a 3-year fully guaranteed contract from those Vikings.
Right.
I love the way
literally has a no trade clause. And it is clear he don't want to come here, at least right now. So, but maybe he sees this show and thinks, you know what? I don't mind being talked about by Greeny every single day. So
promise him a jersey on the wall?
Yeah.
Oh,
would you
Greeny
take down the Aaron Rodgers? If he signed, no, that's not his ask. His ask is that Rodgers got to go down while he's playing.
No, I think Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers have a lot in common. I'll just leave it at that. I think you know what I mean when I say it. And Travis Kelce doesn't. Okay,
yes.
So now I'll just leave it at that. Bottom line of it is this: I think it is a fascinating scenario. Let's talk about it for a second here. Should they consider doing it? Forgetting all about all of that. Should teams be trying to get him? You know, it was I think it was Graziano on my radio show yesterday who said there could be a market for Kirk Cousins in the next 2 weeks. If a contending team loses their quarterback.
It would take because you need a contender who feels like we are right there on the doorstep. But something catastrophic, like we don't have a quarterback anymore, that's what it takes because another team.
Didn't you just literally describe the Jets season? I don't understand.
You did. She did.
Something catastrophic happened.
But here's what I will tell you. After the season went to DEFCON 1 when Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles, the Jets did not reach out to the Minnesota Vikings to ask about Kirk Cousins. You need a contender who's like, the Jets are not a Super Bowl contender.
From the acquirer's side, I think it's easier to imagine than it is from the Vikings side.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes I found myself falling into this trap yesterday where I turn into like a TV personality and I start thinking about it from that perspective. And I think that in actuality, you have to also understand that Kevin O'Connell is the coach of the Vikings. And the part of the responsibility of the coach is to give a message to your team. And sometimes that message is hard to give. You trade away your starting quarterback the first quarter of the season. How does he walk into – you have to have a team meeting after that. What do you say in that team meeting? We don't care about you. It doesn't matter. We got 12 more weeks of the season, and we're going to do the best we can with Nick Mullins. It's hard to pull that off.
Fair, but what Greeny's counterpoint is that if they go 0-4 over the stretch without Justin Jefferson, their season looks a lot different.
Yeah.
So then if you are not, it's not about Kevin O'Connell. It's about Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, who's the GM, who literally they have Kirk Cousins playing on the last year of his deal.
So my point with that is that's Greeny. Greeny does TV.
Yeah, I get it.
Building a culture on a team and completely subverting that culture midway through the season to get rid of your quarterback, like that's hard to come back from.
Yeah.
And I think we're thinking about this as if these players and coaches and GMs and they're video game characters. They're not. So I know at the end of the season, when the season's out of reach, last 4 weeks, you give them that message of, hey, you're playing, put good stuff on tape, get a job. You can't kick that off at week 6.
All that doesn't.
I try to
all
week
that
8.
Dominic makes a great point, except the bigger thing is that Kirk Cousins has a no trade clause.
Yeah.
That is the sticking point. Are you all right, sir?
No, Nick is losing it.
Let me say this about the
final word.
From Cousins' perspective, the issue is going to be the follow-up year. I'm just going to let you know. So, irrespective of if somebody is a contender for Kirk Cousins, it's what's his likelihood of him staying somewhere if he can't pick, right? Like, so the Jets issue would be the Aaron Rodgers issue. I'm just letting you. So, if I'm here, am I getting shipped out? Is Aaron Rodgers getting shipped out? Wherever he goes, it's a contender. That's what you don't even want to take your jersey down right now.
No, baseball does it all the time. You have like these in-season acquisitions for players who are just rentals. Everyone knows it going in.
Yeah.
Someone sitting here yesterday, maybe it was Graziano, said, watch for San Francisco, knowing their window is small, to make an acquisition before the trade deadline. Bring somebody in, go all in for it. It's not that different.
But bringing in a receiver.
This is a quarterback.
Yeah,
it's a different position. It's a
desperate times call for desperate measures.
You won't even take his jersey down.
Under no circumstances am I taking his jersey.
Take some deep breaths. Just trust his kid.
The right thing for him to say, right? I mean, that is a good, of all the things he has said, that's one that I think everyone can agree is just an awesome thing for him to say. But is he right? He's going to say it. You can just tell the way he has talked about him forever. He likes Jordan Love or whatever. But do you?
He's 100% right. Yeah, this is going to take time. He's got receivers that are young. I think every receiver he's got on the team is 2 years or younger. He's maybe in his fourth year. He's his first year really playing football. So this team is going to take time. You heard Jerry Alexander say it. I mean, he's like, look, this is a young offense. They got to figure it out. He's got to understand what he has to do and what his role is. And they're trying to protect him, which I don't think has been advantageous. At some point, you just got to let it go. You're going to make errors, make them aggressively. It's kind of too much protection, in my opinion. Right
Look, the comparisons to Aaron Rodgers are inevitable, even if they're not fair. And Rodgers just said it. In his fourth year, which was his first year starting, Rodgers had a 64% completion rate, threw 28 touchdowns, 13 picks, and threw for over 4,000 yards.
Right.
That's his version of struggling. That's not what this looks like so far. So I guess in the short term, is this still a team that can compete for a playoff spot this year?
I think they can compete for a playoff spot. That defense is really talented, and I think Jordan Love has shown some potential. But I don't think that's what is going to end up happening unless Jordan Love turns this around quickly. They have good offensive coaching staff. I know we talk about how young their skill players are. They're talented. They have talent there. So I expect them to figure it out. There is no reason why they can't. And the only reason why they can is if they don't have a quarterback that can be as good as we think.
Yeah, so here's my thing. I'm a little surprised that people would be surprised that there would be growing pains. I actually agree with Aaron Rodgers wholeheartedly on this. They have a young team. They have a young quarterback who's not a rookie but is playing for the first time as a full-time starter. They have an O-line that hasn't protected him as well as they should have without Bakhtiari. They have a defense who came into this season understanding we have talent. We need to be better. And so far, they haven't been better. Yeah, Jair Alexander saying, you know what, we can't give up any touchdowns. Yeah, look how many first-round picks you guys have on that defense. That's the truth. I think it's a young roster. And I think a few weeks ago, we were sitting at this desk saying, you know what, Green Bay they might have had their answer. Now, a couple weeks later, it's like, ooh, I don't know. No, the kid is going to be fine.
I agree that the kid is going to be fine. I'm just quickly looking up the number of points they've given up this season. They gave up 20 to the Bears, 25 to the Falcons, 17 to the Saints, 34 to the Lions, and then 17 this week. Yeah, so if we think the defense, sort of like the conversation we had with the Jets, it's all well and good to be a good defense.
Right.
If they're going to do anything this season, they have to be a spectacular defense. Bold predictions. Week 6 in the NFL starts right now. Dominique, give me a bold prediction.
Oh, man, I got the Browns pulling off the upset. We've seen every week this season, the team who we put atop the standings and the most impressive, they get knocked off. That Browns defense is impressive. The quarterback has gotten slightly better so far this season. I see the Browns bouncing back, knocking off the Niners.
Wow.
Wow. That is bold.
Swagoo, give me a bold prediction.
I got Justin Fields going for 325 total yards and 3 touchdowns against the Minnesota Vikings. I don't know how bold that is. It's the Vikings. But I do think he's going to have a resurgence, have to use his legs. And he had a receiver go for 230 last week against the Commanders. I'm sure he's going to try to get it in DJ Moore's hands a lot this week.
I love it. And it could actually increase the chances of Kirk Cousins getting traded. Kmart, give me a bold prediction.
Oh, Greeny, this one pains me. But I'm going to say C.J. Stroud will finally throw his first interception against the Saints. Listen, the Saints, I'm not. I love C.J. Stroud, but I was looking for bold. I didn't want to go as bold as Dominique, though. But this Saints defense, they're giving up like 15 points a game. I think this is the game that CJ gives it up.
We will see. And then, Jeff, how about one for Monday night?
I'm going Dak's got 3 tuds against the Chargers. Listen, McCarthy,
Dak on the attack.
Everybody's heard Swagoo talking bad about him. Monday, Dan talking trash about Dak and how whack it is that the boys are selling him out. No, he's going to come back and light it up. I was either going to do that or I was going to do something about the coaches that would have been a lot of fun.
No. I like it. Stick with Dak.
Yeah,
You're saying he's going to crack back against all the flack talk, his own smack on the attack. And make everybody backtrack. Let's see. Jerry
little
Jones.
Wheezy or little Greeny? I don't know.
I'm sexy green. In the meantime, Jerry Jones, yesterday in his regular radio interview, and I cannot wait to hear Marcus's reaction, had this to say about his quarterback.
Dak Prescott is a quarterback that can get us to the Super Bowl, and that's the way that's going to be. Let me be very affirmative. I completely believe that we have the quarterback that can take us where we want to go.
My favorite part of that quote is, that's the way that's going to be. When you're a billionaire and you own the Dallas Cowboys, you can say that. Marcus, in the meantime, you played for the Dallas Cowboys. You've heard a lot of these things. What is your perspective?
The reaction is why? Why do you think that, Jerry? That's like the real rebuttal to what he just said. Because I texted Foxy during the game, and I was like, bro, I just don't know if Ford has it, bro. I just don't know if he has it in these situations. And these are like 0-2 in the moments. I keep going back to that when we get. Can you win with Dak? Yes. Can you do things and have a high-powered offense? We've seen that happen. What do you do in these situations? All right. And look, let's stop all of the caveats about, well, what about the defense and what about the play calling? He's had different play callers. Y'all lauded Kellen Moore for being one of the best play callers in the league. They couldn't score more than 19 last year in the playoff game. Like, the common denominator is Dak Prescott in this equation. In these particular types of games, are we going to have weeks where we say, damn, look at Dak, man, Dak balling. Look how well Dak played. We bold predicting that Dak going to throw 3 touchdowns against the Chargers. He very well might. And the conversation and the narrative will go back and forth. The problem is the seesaw. The seesaw is the problem. It's these games that's important for a quarterback in year 8, thinking that they can go to a Super Bowl, thinking that the roster around him is good enough to do it. It's these games. It ain't all of the ones we talk about when he does well. Everybody's seen that before a number of times.
So that's really the question, is where does it leave us? We can go short-term and long. We went long-term a little bit earlier this morning. We talked in the long term about whether or not they're going to have a decision about whether they want to pay him $55 million. Let's go short-term. Guys, let me know when you have the Micah Parsons stuff ready to go. I think let's just try and get that in here. Do we have that ready to go here? Can I get that in? Because I wanted to hear Marcus's response to that. Tell me when you have that, because they got obliterated 42-10. And we saw at one point in the game, George Kittle, when he caught his 3rd touchdown, held up his jersey and it said F Dallas Cowboys on it, right? Micah Parsons, who has never known a microphone he didn't want to talk into, had a response, and here it is.
But I'm going to say this, laugh now, cry later. We got something for that. Just trust. Just trust. If we see them again, just trust. Laugh now, cry later. And we're going to put it just like that. I ain't going to put too much on it. You going to make it personal? We can make it personal. That's cool.
Marcus,
Yo, get your boy.
Marcus,
get your boy,
go.
Marcus.
Yep.
Bro, the score was 42-10. It was personal for them.
Yeah.
And they've been winning. And it was, how do you say this? This team, anybody else, it could have been any other 30 teams in the NFL. And you could have said, if they want to make it personal, we can make it personal. Not this team. The team that's knocked you out the playoffs 2 years back to back. The team that beat you last year. Like, what? What are we talking about? And everybody knows, man, I love Micah Parsons. I love the player that he is. We talk about how hard he plays. This dude, unquestioned about what he is on the football field. But this is the type of stuff. He got caught up. He got caught up in the emotional state of losing 42-10. Bro, San Francisco been playing this game like it's been personal for the last 3 years. That's how long it's been personal for them. So I just, like, these are the things. You lost, we lost. We took our L. This is what you say. We lost, we took our L. They beat us 3 times. They can say what they want to say until we do something about it when we play them. Don't say this, though. Don't say this, Michael.
As someone with a podcast, that's not what you do when you try to get people to download your podcast. I see you, Michael. It's that thing. You on Greeny Show right now, getting free pub. Everybody download, rate, review Michael Parsons' podcast. That's all he doing. That's all he doing. He says salacious stuff, so we watch it. It don't matter. They're not going to play any harder because somebody had a T-shirt. The 49ers aren't going to play any harder because Micah said what he said. It's all nonsense and noise that could make it more interesting. It's embarrassing.